Hi everyone, it's my member spotlight today. My name is Simone Redburn Lockhart and I'm a proud member of this Lunchtime Rotary Club. I have been so for approximately 13 years or so. I was born and raised right here in Mission. I'm an only child, and now along with my husband and 3 kids and my mom, we live on about an acre in Hatzick on Penner Avenue. And we call our property Notting Hill Farm, because that's where my dad was born, in Nottingham, England. So Ross, my husband, and my 3 kids and mom, we all live here. We moved in when dad passed away about 8 years ago. And as she said, when the story goes, she went away on holiday for a little while. And she says Ross and I moved in right away with our 3 kids and cats and dogs. Story goes something like that. But either way, we have a pretty good bit of fun on our property. We're all enjoying it. So although I grew up here in Mission, my parents weren't from Mission. My mom came from Hope and then Port Coquitlam, and my dad was born in England and raised in East Vancouver. But even before they met each other, they were already world travelers, traveling independently, and then once they got together, living and working in countries all over the world together. So I guess when they got pregnant, they traded their travels in for a cabin on the dirt road streets of Steelhead. It was either Steelhead, BC or Qualicum, and they chose Steelhead. So that's why we wound up homesteading, if you will, or starting our lineage here in Mission. 1976, a trout farm in Steelhead. So I got my start on the bushwhacking dirt roads of Steelhead, and we later moved in the early 80s to the big city on Dogwood Terrace, and I attended Cherry Hill Elementary, so shout out to Cherry Hill Chargers, and then on to graduation at Hatzick High School. Here's a fun story. Mission and Hatzick High Schools merged in grade 8, and we all shared the same school. It was absolutely absurd while Hatzick, the new Hatzick High School was being built. I'm sure it was absurd for the administration as well, but yeah, Hatzick students and staff attended school from 6 a.m. to noon, and then the Mission kids went from noon until 6. And then midway through the year, we switched timings. It was a really interesting year. Educationally speaking, I remember it as sort of being a little bit of a wash for anything that we may have learned. But what I took out of it, it was excellent for bonding the 2 schools. And some of those combined parties we had back then were pretty epic. And even having our high school reunions together as one school, Hatzick Mission combo, we've always done that. And Corey and I just organized our 30th out at the DeRoche Hall last summer. That was an amazing hot summer night, and both schools came together. So it's been great. It was great for the building of community. But yeah, growing up in the 80s in Mission, those were the days of the bowling alley, and they had a liquor license then. Legion dances on Friday nights and the old cinema. But the majority of our time, I think, was spent out in nature. That played a huge role of the lives growing up in Mission. I still think it does today as well. We were up the top of the forestry roads to waterfalls and lakes, lots of bonfires and freedom. Anyways, I was raised here and I had a pretty good time. I left Mission around the age of 18. To do my own traveling. I went to and from Mission for years to come home and do laundry and make a little more money. And like my parents, I traveled and worked around the world as well until my mid-20s or so. Yada, yada, yada. Fill in a whole bunch of great stuff, wonderful people, and amazing memories. And I eventually landed in Vancouver working for sales for an adventure travel company, Adventures Abroad. 10 more years or so of this and that with those guys, had a wonderful time. And then I met Ross the Scotsman. A couple of years after I met Ross, we were expecting our first child, Fiona. And that's when I took out my real estate license about 14 or 15 years ago. Being the daughter of a realtor, I know the lifestyle. That's certain. It's a great career for raising kids. It's local, it's flexible, and my favorite part is the harder and smarter you work, the more it builds. And Ross and I wanted to make a plan early on to eventually be able to create something together. So that's where we are now. So actually at the time when we got pregnant with Fiona, Ross and I were living on our boat down in Cole Harbour at the foot of Denman Street. And we've always joked about it that we turned the boat in for a baby. But anyway, we bought a condo and I was selling real estate out that way. And then another baby, Mr. Dorian, came along and we outgrew our condo and decided to move to Mission to raise the kids and join Mom in real estate. Oh, and one more baby, Cecilia Joy. She just had her 10th birthday. So 4 years ago, we added Running Gallery 202 to our roster and to our list of things and dreams that we wanted to achieve and accomplish and try out. It was a very cool concept. We had a professional real estate office in the front, and an art gallery was surrounding our professional real estate office, and then all classes and art schools in the back. And we had a heck of a lot of fun bringing the concept of First Fridays down to Main Street as well. We had live music down there almost every weekend. We had a choir, we had a band, lots of adults and lots of kids had a lot of fun and didn't feel so isolated during COVID, during a time when we were staying 6 feet apart. We followed all the mandates and all the way through COVID down at the gallery, but we had a space that was large enough to allow everyone to spread out, yet still be together. So now to Rotary, my member spotlight. That's why I'm here. Throughout life, I guess I've always started volunteering, started probably with Folk Fest 38 years ago. And I've been connected to some kind of volunteer escapade in Vancouver or wherever I've lived. Even if there wasn't any around, I would invent a volunteer project. Very cool, serving meals. One of the things down at the Burrard Street shelter with my girlfriend Carmen, we went every week. We served over 400 people a week there. That was interesting. Another notable time was when I moved to New West and I worked in an interesting outreach program. We drove Kingsway and the streets of New West, giving out supplies and resources to those living and working on the streets. It was a very unique and eye-opening portion of my life. I'm digressing a little, so I'll get back to Mission and back to Rotary. So Ross and I had the kids and we were settling into Mission. I was reaching out who was still around from high school days and my bartending days at the Springs and Sistos. And I saw Corey Castle's Facebook post about a St. Patrick's Day party. And it looked like everyone was having a fantastic time and a pretty fun crew of people in my neighborhood. So called Corey, asked if I could come to a lunch, asked him what Rotary was all about. And he treated me to lunch, of course, immediately. And he acted as my mentor. I jumped in at that time without a second thought. It was a fantastic group and a fantastic way to be reintroduced to a community that I'd known really well, but 15 years previously and as a teenager or so. So joined Rotary immediately and our lives settled down a little bit, not too much for us. And it all revolved around Rotary and the kids, their schools, soccer, taekwondo, dance, and building and helping preserve my mom's real estate presence. And from a Rotary perspective, here's my update on my 4 Rotary North Fraser pieces that I've been working through. Terry Fox Run. I took this over about 10 years ago on behalf of Rotary. My family personally has deep ties to Terry and the Fox family, being from Port Coquitlam. I was at the very first run ever as a kid, and I never missed one. Even if I was on the other side of the world, I always sent in my forms and got my sticker. So it was a natural fit for me to take over the organizing of this. We had great success for a bunch of years, and I recently stepped back. Michelle Aldridge and her crew have been doing a wonderful job leading Terry Fox now, but if anyone's still interested in picking that back up, we certainly can. We can get a team of runners or certainly a team of volunteers under Rotary. It's an open door. But for me, I'm happy to let the new crew take the lead as they have been. It's been great. And Hope Central, I was there from the start. If anyone remembers pre-renovation, and we ran Gwen's Night for many, the night that Gwen's running now on the Sunday for many years. And I ran another Sunday night crew as well until I passed that torch on not too long ago. So big shout out to those who stuck through that Hope Central during COVID. Jim, Paul, Ben, we miss you, Paul, especially for what we all pulled off during COVID when nobody wanted to leave their house. We were all scared to die. And volunteers were low, but we kept on going and passing out those lunch bags. And thanks, guys, for keeping me motivated on that. And of course, the Festival of Trees, I think this is the 9th annual year. it's always a magical event, and it really brings the community together down there. And up until recently, our family did a tree on behalf of the gallery and the real estate and Rotary. But in recent years, my participation has been a bit slower. I've kept it going. Margaret and Joy, who run the program, still run it and would love for us to join in again, or at least contribute a tree this year. I've offered to support them on social media, and if anyone wants to help out with the Festival of Trees, of course, let me know about that beautiful Christmas tradition. So as you can see, there's a trend here. The torch passing has been my theme over the last year since we've let go of the lease of the gallery, and the main common thread with all of these things were things that I could do and enjoy with the kids. And honestly, over the last 13 years, they've grown up surrounded by the energy of giving back to our community, forged by Rotary. So it really has been a proper gift. But up until recently, they don't always want to be with me all the time. They're older and they're busy with soccer and homework and friends, and I can't drive them anywhere. So I can't drag them anywhere, I should say. So yes, the theme is clear, torch passing. Those years of leading and participating and showing up were formative, both for me and for my kids. And Rotary has been part of their story as well. While life is busier now with all of those things and a busy real estate career, I carry all of this with me, and I thank Rotary for the framework that they've given me in my life. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all, and happy Tuesday.